Hello, everybody. Universus released the solo leveling box, and I just had to get it, so I got it, and we're gonna be reviewing the cards in it. And shout out to UVS Games. Funny story in Atlanta, the most recent regional. Instead of playtesting my deck, I basically watched this show on the couch while my teammates were in the Airbnb, kind of all practicing games. And instead of practicing, I just watched this whole series and everything that's out so far, and I really liked it. So, yeah, UVS got me into this, and it's really good. If you haven't checked it out, I can definitely recommend it. Anyway, what I have here is yay and meh. So the idea here is we're gonna go through all the cards and we're gonna rate it either yay or meh. Yay is gonna be anything that is interesting, anything that I think could find a spot in a deck somewhere. Doesn't necessarily have to be competitive. It just has to be something that's interesting, a reason to go and buy this deck, a card that is unique or interesting, or competitive. And meh is gonna be something we've seen already a lot, or kind of a generic card that isn't that exciting. So yeah, let's start off with the character. So I did do a YouTube shorts of this character real quick, and I know there has been a lot of discussion on whether this character is any good or not. I think this character is kind of nuts, personally, as someone who has not played this deck yet. But I think it's really good, and I think that people are overrating the downsides and kind of missing kind of like the upsides of the character. Now, I will admit, the format right now is very fast, so I think that's the main complaint that most people have with this character, which is that he takes a long time to level up, which, makes sense. That's kind of what the show's all about. But I think once he levels up, and where did the Assassin Skill Tree card go? Is it on the back here? Okay, that's weird. I was expecting an Assassin's Skill Tree card. Looks like it's maybe on the back. These cards are a little... Okay, I think it's in here. Here we go. Okay, Assassin's Skill Tree. This is the other important card that you have to play with your character. This tells you exactly all the abilities on your character, and this is in and of itself insane. Like, most characters don't get this large of a text box, and the fact that Sung Jin-woo gets this big of a text box is actually crazy. And I would just want to point out real quick, the one enhance that just inspires me the most is Ruler's Authority. This enhance will add an XP card from your move pile to your hand every single turn. Every single attack enhance is crazy. I think that just lets you always have attacks and just gives you so much value. So if you can live until you get to Ruler's Authority, I think this character is easily probably the best character in the game. Okay, no, I meant to put this in yay. I think Sung Jin-woo definitely needs some testing. I think he definitely will be a very interesting deck at the very least, even if he's not competitive in the current meta because of how slow he is. But I think people are underrating him. Next is Hunter's Dagger. This is a unique weapon asset. Your non-throw attack gains weapon. If it deals damage, add 3 bleed counters to this card. Remove 1 bleed counter. After your rival plays an attack, if their health is 3 or greater, they lose 1 health. I'm gonna put this in yay, but it's kind of a tough choice, because I think this is an interesting card in that you can make your rival lose health on their turn. And that's actually really good for cards like Excited for Blood, which say whenever your rival loses health, do something. And normally it's really hard to make your rival lose health on their turn. So for that reason, I actually really like this card. And it does share death with Excited for Blood. And it's a tune, so you can run it in that deck. Now, Excited for Blood is about to rotate, and I'm not sure they're doing much with the if your rival takes damage kind of theme. That theme kind of died out. It hasn't been supported in a while. So that makes me a lot less excited. But if more cards like this were released, I could see this card being really interesting. Um, yeah, giving something weapon is also kind of neat, I guess, but not the reason I'm interested in this card. Next, we have Teleportation Stone. Response remove after you block an attack, your rival must play a non-attack card as their next form or pass. I think this card is really good. This is a great defensive piece. I'm going to put it in yay just because I do think it is competitive. I think it's a sick one-of in any all deck because you just it's like Keiko's Aid but stronger, and it's like learning the standards, but you don't have to actually take damage. So any kind of defensive deck is going to really like this card. Clash with the Blood Red. This is an XP card. Each player reveals the top card of their deck. If the check value is greater than your rival's, your rival commits 2 foundations. Otherwise, you draw 1 card and mill 1 card. You know, I think this is a fun card. This is definitely fun to play. I'm having a hard time seeing if this would be good or not, just because it's random, first of all. And second of all, it's a 5 diff. So, I don't know. It's not something I mean, the better one seems to be probably, in my opinion, draw 1 and your rival mills 1. That's if your check value is lower than your rival's value. And then that way you get to actually draw an attack. So you want an attack to be on top of your deck and a foundation to be on top of your rival's deck. That way you get to draw your attack and your rival has to mill that foundation on top. But I think that's just hard to set up. I don't know. I'll put it in Met just because I'm not sure about that card. Venom Fang Dagger. After this attack deals damage, your next weapon attack gains X damage. X equals this attack's damage. So I think this is actually pretty sick. Now, this is a hard card to, I think, actually take advantage of because this will, it has to deal damage, and that's not guaranteed. They can block this very easily. If it does deal damage, you need a weapon attack, and then you give it this card's damage, so you need to be pumping the damage on this. I'm going to put this in yay, though, because I think there is some cool things you can do with that card. Like, that's a cool card to have around. There's so much potential because we don't have a lot of cards that double their damage, and this doubles the damage, basically, if you jump through some really difficult hoops. So, World's Weakest Hunter. After this attack deals damage, you may remove a foundation from your stage. Draw 1 card for each card you remove from game pile. This is definitely a yay card. I think that card is messed up. This card is just sick. Now, the biggest issue with this card is going to be actually damaging your rival. I think it's going to be very similar to Tasty Riff in that sense, but not a 2-check. So I think that card is just insane, personally. Very competitive. Double Dungeon. After you level up, ready this card. That's Tenacious. And then Enhance. Your turn, you level up, but you can't level up again this turn. So I believe this is just to level up a little faster, but then you would normally level up at the end of your turn anyway. So I don't know. I feel like this card is really weak. I might be missing something, but this is going to go in meta because even in this deck that is all about leveling up, I just don't see how it would be that helpful because, yeah, you can't level up again this turn is crazy to me. Crazy in the sense that it's a really bad downside. Okay. Next is Determined Cut. This is an XP card. After your rival plays an enhanced ability, they may lose 1 health. You know, I think this goes in meh for me personally. Because for me personally, I don't really think this is very interesting. Yes, you can make your rival not want to play enhances, but if they need to play an enhance, they can. So they're just losing 1 health, and it's not that big of a deal. So this is going to go in Met. It just gives too much control over the opponent, so you can't really build a deck around it, I feel. Enough of this. This card does not count for progressively difficulty to play foundations. This goes in yay 100%. This is such a cool card. and definitely something I'm very interested in. And the reason is there's a lot of decks where you want to get some enhances off, so you need to play an attack, but you know that attack is going to get blocked. And in that case, why not play this? And then this will ignore pretty swiftly, and you can still build out afterwards, and you get your enhances off. I think this is a really sick card. Life attuned makes so much sense. This is what life wants to be doing. Um, Throwing out this really bad statted move, and then saying, okay, it's ignoring progressive difficulty for my foundations. So I drew with my enhances, and now I can build out from there. I'm a big fan of that card. I don't know if it's going to be competitive. I like that card. Grasp for Survival. Throw after you block with the skirt, gain 2 health. This is going to go in meh. We've seen throws, and I don't see how this is very different from other throws other than the block trick. But the problem is this is a 3-block mod, so it just feels bad to block with. Honestly, this block is not bad. Gain 2 health is not bad, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not good, so that's why it will go meh. Killing Intent. Stun 1 Fury Weapon. Seal 1 Rival Foundation with difficulty 2 or less. Oh yeah, one thing I didn't want to mention is this is an XP card, so you can fetch it infinitely with Sung Jin Woo, and then kill your opponent that way. Being able to fetch it throughout every turn is kind of crazy. But anyway, that's like the one use case I can see. This one seals a rival foundation with difficulty 2 or less. I actually think this could be a yay. This is not the type of card I like to play, but I think it's competitive because sealing rival foundations is really, really good. So I'm going to put it in yay, even though it's not something I personally like too much. When I'm looking at board interaction, I really prefer flipping rival foundations, and I really prefer destroying rival foundations to sealing or committing them. And the reason is that in the long game, that's way more beneficial than sealing it for 1 turn. I might not be killing you this turn, so sealing it this turn is only helpful if I'm killing you. And I would rather get that long-term advantage. But the other way to play this is, I'm going to kill you this turn, and then sealing is way harder to deal with than flipping or destroying. I mean, there's so many flip counters now. There's Chivalrous and Struggling with Studies, and sealing is really hard to counter, actually. Not a lot of cards do that. Add an XP Foundation from your discard pile to your hand as a blitz. This one's going to go in meh. I just feel like there are better attacks you can be running even in this deck. Yeah. A 5-diff that essentially draws ones. Granted, it's a selective draw one, but also it's only foundations. I'm not convinced by it. Judge-Engineering Armor. After this card is committed due to a rival effect, this stat gets -2 damage. Or you can sacrifice it Tenacious, this attack gets -1 damage. I think this has to go in meh. I feel like they need to stop printing cards. They need to start printing better stun hate. Like, this is pretty terrible stun hate. And the reason is, a Walk the Dog is 6 damage and then has powerful 3. So that card often is like 12 damage. And you're going to give it like -3 damage at most if you commit this and sacrifice it. And you could just play like Weapon Clash or something and do this effect. And it's a 2-diff. There's no reason to play this over Weapon Clash, really. And so I just feel like they're way too conservative on stun hate. Because, I don't know, if you have a lot of stun hate on board, your opponent can always choose not to press the stun button if they don't want to. So why not make stun hate much better? Fateful Decision. After you play a block, this gets Breaker 1. You can also commit it to give this attack -2 speed. It's really weird that this is an enhance. That has been pointed out. I think that's probably a mistake, just an editing mistake. But I'm assuming that you commit it before you block, which makes it a little worse, but not the end of the world. Now, this card is going to be kind of nuts. This is definitely a yay card, and I actually think it's a little overrated right now. A lot of people are saying, oh yeah, Rodan is going to be much better with this card. I don't think Rodan needs Breaker 1 on a block. I think Rodan just needs more foundations up because they're going to block everything. And they kind of, Rodan actually wants you to overextend. So I don't even know if this slots well into competitive decks. The reason this is a yay for me is this bottom enhance that synergizes so well with Cute Baby, which is a May Foundation, May 2, that gives all of your keyword ratings +1. And so if you give a card Breaker 1 4 times, and then you respond with that, you're giving it Breaker 8, which is crazy. And then this is on the all symbol attuned, so it actually slots into those decks really, really well. I think this card is going to be nuts when you're combining it with other synergies. And so this Breaker Typal, I think, is going to be, has the potential to go nuts. I mean, you can just end someone's turn. Improving skills, XP. Sacrifice a foundation and stack +1 speed. After you remove this card from your hand, build the top card of your deck face down, committed. It's tough. I think this is going to go in meh for me. I think even in the XP deck, you probably run this, but you're not happy about it. So that's why it's going to go in meh. Next is item menu. After you remove this card from your hand, draw 1 card. This card is not great right now, but I could see this being great later as we add more ways to remove cards from your hand. We actually don't have a lot of ways to do that right now. I feel like most of the removal is like from your discard. And then that would be really cool if it worked from discard, but that would also be too strong. So since this gated to removing from your hand, I can see this being really good later. I'm going to put this in yay because of the potential it has. And it's also an automatic 4-of in any Sung Jinwoo deck, in my opinion. Leveling Strength. Yeah, this card is going to go in meh for me. Now, we've seen 1-diffs that give conditional +3 damage, and that's just going to be better than this card. Loot Box. Build the top card of your deck. At the end of the combat phase, add this card to your hand. You know, I'm going to have to put this in yay just because it's cool, but I do think that this is, I'm not sure. It's good. I just feel like it's probably better in like some aggro strategy, so I'm not sure I see myself playing it that much. Just because it is a 4-check as well. It's a hard one to evaluate. But I mean, obviously the best usage case of this is you flip it and you're essentially getting +1 to a check on your turn at some point, and you're getting like a resource. So yeah, this has to go in yay, I think, just because I think it's going to be competitive. I don't know if I'm too excited about it. I'm a pretty big scaredy cat of 4 checks, so that's a big part of why I'm not that excited. Next, we just have a Breaker 1 XP card. I'm a fan of these cards existing, but it's going to go in meh because I don't see a usage case for it. We've seen cards like that before. Next, Timely Recovery. Enhance, sacrifice, gain 2 health. That's really good, actually. Response, after you remove this card from your hand, gain 2 health. We don't have a lot of ways to do that, but yeah. Okay, I'm going to put that in... I'm just going to put this in meh, honestly, because I want to... I want to keep the yays kind of tight, and this one's borderline for me. But it is kind of cool. It helps those life gain synergies a little bit. Anyway, now we have our yays. Loot Box, Item Menu, Fateful Decision, Killing Intent, Enough of This, World's Weakest Hunter, Venom Dagger, Teleporting Stone, Hunter's Dagger, and the character. So this is a lot of really nice cards that I think are really unique and that justify getting this deck. Like, this is a really solid deck. I mean, even these mez were kind of close. I think there's a lot of cards to be excited about. There's a lot of reason to own these cards and play around with them. And so if any of these yays interest you, I would definitely recommend picking up this deck. But anyway, we also get this collector booster pack. So let's open this up and see what's inside. Now this is going to be random foils of the cards in the deck. Starting off with Dungeoneering Armor, this is a common alt. That's nice. The alts are better than the foils. Sorry, I'm just gonna wake up my camera. Okay. Next, we have item menu, another alt. This is nice. This is a yay. So I think this is a meh. This is a yay, so I'm happy about that. Loot box alt, that's awesome. Looks really cool. We got the alt character. That's sick. Now, people have been saying that the chibi art. Yeah, I have to agree with people when they say that the chibi art, it's like take it or leave it for me. But I'm really happy about pulling an alt character, because these are really rare, and it's got a really nice texture. Like, this is a nice looking card in person. I don't know if it actually picks it up on the camera, but this has like a really nice texture. Like, the foiling is very well done. So even though the art is, take it or leave it, I actually think this is a really nice looking card. Like, I would play this card for sure. Yeah, very happy about that. Very cool. And then we have two more alts, I think. Yeah, these are all alts. So in other decks, like the Deku deck, they had some alts and some foils. This is just 5 alts, 6 alts. That's really, really good. That's awesome, because actually that was a big complaint I had with the Deku deck, is it was too hard to get the alts. This feels like a lot more generous with the alts here. Determined cuts after your arrival. Yeah, this one was a meh for me. And then Grasp for Survival was a meh for me, but this is a really nice art, actually. I think this was a borderline meh for me, just because in Sung Jin Woo you can infinitely loop the throw. Anyway, that is the deck. So let me know what you think about this deck. Do you agree with my yays? Do you agree with my mehs? What do you think about this deck in general? I would love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.